Hi everybody, I'm here reporting on yesterday's 2-1 win at Ibrox against St Mirren. And as you can see, I've put on my angry face for this one. Because after Thursday night's high, when you beat the remaining champions by 4 goals to nil, we struggle to beat the mighty St Mirren. That sums it up. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this, it's far too warm. To go on with my description, the whole stadium was probably angry and for a good part of that game nervous because St Mirren didn't just sit back and defend and try to get a point. They came at us, they looked dangerous, they scored a goal, they could have had another couple probably. And when they had to defend, they did get practically everybody back except their striker with the Italian name or food name, Lasagna, I think he was called. So it wasn't one of these typical games, except from our point of view, it was typical because most of the time we were too slow, sloppy passing, not enough forward passing, weak physically against stronger opponents. We didn't look even as quick or fit as St Mirren. Now that's a condemnation when a team like St Mirren can look fitter, quicker, stronger than us. Take a comparison. If you asked every Rangers fan yesterday in that stadium at the end, and there wouldn't have been many, who would you rather have in central defence, Gogic or Proper? And I bet you every one of them would have said Gogic because he gets stuck in, he fights for everything, he shows it what it means to him. Proper, a big weakling. I mean, just how he's been, 10, 12 years in the Dutch league. Who knows? It must be a very easy league to play in. No wonder only 2 or 3 teams ever win it because that guy will never cope with Scottish football. It was bad enough in his 20 minutes or whatever it was on Thursday when he looked ropey and lacking confidence and nearly gave a goal away. And he did the same yesterday. He nearly gave a goal away early on when he slid in to stop the guy Lasagna and missed, and the guy skipped towards the goal and he should have scored, but he put it past the far post. So that guy is one weak link we can do without. Anyhow, the game as a whole, we probably just deserved to win it, but we couldn't have complained if St Mirren had gone away with a draw for all their good work and endeavour that they put into it compared to some of our guys. At the start, I was so delighted to see Igaman starting and Casemiro starting with Tav and Drossers on the bench. Things could only get better, I thought. But then, of course, Suter was left out of the squad, so that meant a pairing of Balogun and Proper, and I never want to see that again. Balogun was not quite as bad as the other guy, but he wasn't good either. So weak through the middle of the defence. And it actually got better when Proper went off and Casemiro went into the centre beside Balogun. But Balogun's a liability as well. I mean, these two play together on Wednesday at Pittodrie and it will be horrific. So anyhow, started badly. They were on the front foot. They were doing all the passing. It was an hour half a lot of the time. The first 10 minutes or so, they had that chance that I told you about. We were creating nothing whatsoever. And then out of the blue, we actually scored the first goal in the 13th minute against the run of play for a change at Ibrox. So Bayrami did well out on the left, got into the box with the ball, kept his cool, looked up, passed it diagonally to the edge of the box, and there was Raskin running in to slam a low shot straight at the goalie, who kind of fumbled it, kind of bounced away from him. And Diamande was there to just tap it into the empty goal. I held my breath because I thought he'll be offside, and VAR checked it, and thankfully he was just onside when the shot went in. So that should have turned everything around, but it didn't really. It didn't make much difference to the proceedings. And of course, eventually the equaliser came. And thank you, referee. What was his name? Callum Scott. Never heard of him. An absolute idiot. Another ref trained in the Lawwell School of Refereeing. A free kick into a box. It was headed out or glanced out for a by kick. No, the referee gives them a corner and they score from the corner. So how's that for helping the opposition? I noticed when the ball came in, Diamande lost the guy he was marking, Gogic. Why he was marking him, I don't know. And the Gogic just rose. He wanted it more. I just bulleted it into the net from what, about 4 yards, 5 yards out maybe. And at first I thought, oh, that's poor goalkeeping. Why isn't the goalkeeper getting that? And then there was a kind of protest from Rangers players, obviously looking for a foul, but VAR checked it, no foul. And when I saw it on TV later, there wasn't a foul. But what they cleverly did was they placed a guy in front of Butland. So when the ball came into that dangerous area, he just stood his ground, and Butland had to go over his back, couldn't quite reach where the ball was. So that was clever, if not a foul. It was clever, making sure you obstruct the goalkeeper in his jump. And meanwhile, Proper out-jumped, out-muscled by Gogic, who's smaller than him probably, and it's in the net. So terrible goal to lose from a non-corner, as it turned out. So anyhow, 1-1 at half-time. That was bad enough. We couldn't see what anything was going to change because there's hardly anybody in the bench that you could bring on. And of course, the inevitable happened. Igaman, he's the fall guy. He comes off. Drossers comes on. Igaman, 45 minutes, hardly any service, hardly any support, on his own, trying to tackle the opposition, jumping up for long balls, all that kind of stuff. No credit whatsoever, and just hooked at the first opportunity. And then, of course, Tavernier, he's got to come on later on when it was so desperate. We had to get Proper off no matter what. So anyway, second half better. We made a few more chances. Well, I should say in the first half, Bayrami should actually have scored, but he put one into the side netting from about 8 yards out, and he should have scored. And even worse, Cherny had one right in the 18-yard line on his left foot. Should have been a goal. He scored from harder positions, and he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. So that was maybe the only other two chances I can remember. In the second half, we did play better. We scored the winning goals, it turned out, from Drossers. He didn't actually dribble his way to the byline. He kind of, I don't know, somehow ran between a couple of players, just knocking it forward, caught it, went to the byline, thought he'd overdone it, thought it might have gone out over the line, but no, he kept it in and he tapped it back to Cherny, right in the centre, but 2-3 yards out, and he just slammed it into the net. So thank God for that. A great winning goal, if you can call it that. When I saw it again on TV, as Drossers went to tap it back, the defender put his foot between the ball and him. So what actually happened was Drossers kicked the guy's boot, which then booted the ball back to Cherny. So who cares? Bit of good fortune. We were in dire need of it. Let's hope we get more of that in the coming games. So what else happened? Cherny, he should have had a hat-trick. They won the first half. The actual goal, after the actual goal, he could have made us all relax if he'd scored a third, which he should have. I think Drossers actually passed it to him on his left foot, 12 yards out, not even that maybe, and he tried to curl it into the far corner, didn't do it, put enough on it, and the goalie dived and palmed it round the post for a corner kick. So wonder the ref didn't give a by kick for that one, but that really should have been in the net. That was easy for a guy like him with his left foot. So not a lot to report on, not a great performance by anybody. Raskin and Barron were probably the best of them, but not as good as on Thursday night. Raskin got man of the match, probably quite rightly. Barron was a bit quieter than normal. Ditto Shifty, he didn't do as many forward runs, especially in the first half, but he was okay, he wasn't brilliant. Bayrami's got to get more involved, and stuck out in the left wing, he's not going to be involved, so he's got to be more involved. Tavernier came on, and just the usual misplaced passes, back passes, overhit crosses, all the usual stuff. Why we have to bring him on, I don't know. Casemiro did well enough at right back. He did one great run from our area, practically right up to their area, just charged right up the inside right channel, something that Tavernier never could do and certainly won't ever do again. So when he moved to centre half, he even looked okay there. So he was okay. Two central defenders, terrible. Butland, next, nothing to do. Who else? Diomande lost possession quite a bit, did a few good things, obviously scored the first goal, but he didn't look brilliant either. And Cherny, hot and cold, some good stuff, some poorish stuff, still too weak against teams like Kilmarnock and St Mirren. So 3 points, that's all we can ask for. Hope to play better on Wednesday. We'll need to at Pittodrie.